Two new Tier 3 commanders just came out in the February update of Lord of the Rings Rise to War. I don't have an evil account in a campaign right now, so we're going to use my account from Bag End, and we're going to talk about the new evil T3, Oglurg. I don't really know how to say it, but let's get into it. Alright guys, the new T3 evil commander is Oglurg. Really don't know how to say his name, so we're just going to go with Oglurg. He is a leader, which is one of the best traits in the game in my opinion, and as far as equipment goes, or as far as what he can use, he is an orc. His unique item is the Brutal Axe, which has an incredible 22 might, and it gives army attack to all units, and some extra army attack to trolls, plus Raging Command seems quite solid. When he's attacking, orcs and trolls deal extra damage, and then when he's defending, he actually heals every single round after round 8. I don't think that part is particularly wonderful. However, dealing a whole bunch of extra damage is always a good thing in this game. As far as his skills go, I think this guy is super duper weird. I'm going to try and theorize the best build for him. Hopefully it helps you guys out. There's a few skills that are really wonky for this guy. And of course, science is always better than pure paper theory crafting. So please do keep that in mind. However, hopefully this helps you guys know kind of where to go with this commander. I think he is absolutely going to be a phenomenal Reaper commander. And this is because of the skills we'll talk about first, like Orc Leader. So this is going to give orcs some extra defense. And then this is a weird one because it's like Haldir's unique. So they always are going to get some amount of extra defense. And then if they're battling on wood or stone land, they get even more defense. And really nice 15-point effect here is +3 attack for all orcs in your army. Overall, this is solid in my opinion, particularly on Reapers. But of course, you know, why not have some extra defense on your Crushers? And tied to that is what I think is going to be a phenomenal skill, Severe Laceration. There is a 100% chance for your orc units to deal extra damage after they deal damage. So it's kind of like a mini follow-up, and it's going to get even better in a minute when I talk about one of his other skills. And extra sources of damage in this game are very powerful because there are a number of different layered damage reduction effects, like White Council. It's probably the most prevalent one. If you're dealing multiple sources of damage, you're shredding through those effects more quickly. And there's things, like a certain amount of instances of avoidance, things like that. So having extra sources of damage is good. Morgul Commander, orcs and Urukai receive 2% less damage per point. Very standard damage reduction skill here. I don't really know why they threw Urukai in there. I don't think this guy is ever going to be running Uruk units, but who knows, maybe. And then another good skill tree, in my opinion, is Axe Overlord. This has Rush, and it hits one enemy, dealing some damage, and forces allied units to prioritize that target. The reason I think this is going to have good synergy with him is because I'm pretty sure this guy is going to be a beast with Reapers. So if you throw like Reaper, Crusher, Troll on this guy, and Axe Overlord goes off, it's going to force your entire army to focus on that one target, allowing you to focus fire enemy units down and take them out of combat earlier than you may normally have. There might be some counter synergy in this though, because usually Crushers and Reapers are going to be targeting the same unit anyway, because the Crushers are going to hit something that's going to reduce that unit's defense, then Reapers are going to target whatever has the lowest defense. However, I think that this is going to be worth it primarily, well, it has +20 might bonus, which seems a little bit excessive since most other 15-point bonuses as far as stats go are 15 of that stat. I guess an extra 5 isn't the end of the world. However, it is interesting to me that they included that. But the real reason that I think this skill tree is good is because of caning. This is kind of like Gothmog's skill that damages one of your units and then makes them do like +100% extra damage. You're going to hit your entire army with a little bit of damage, and then at 7 points, this is a 100% chance for those units to gain follow-up for 1 round. I think this is going to have awesome synergy with Reapers and with Severe Laceration, because basically what's going to happen is he's going to give your units follow-up, they're going to attack normally, then they're going to hit with Severe Laceration, then they're going to use their follow-up attack, and then they're going to hit with Severe Laceration again. So I think there is some really nice synergy there, particularly like I keep harping on those Reaper units, and the reason that I think he's going to be good with Reapers, besides his Orc buffs, is also his Troll buffs. So his Respect 5 title is Troll Master, and this has a whole bunch of effects. Importantly, it's going to give all of your troll units extra defense, and for your mountain trolls, it makes their taunt last the entirety of battle. The downside of this is it means that your mountain trolls are pretty much always going to be dead after every single fight. But the major benefit of this is it means that your Reapers potentially get protected for even longer, allowing them to survive into the later rounds of combat, where they start absolutely shredding everything. The max level effect only affects Ravagers, so you're probably only going to ever take this to the 15th point if you are playing as Mordor or otherwise have access to Ravagers. And the other skill that is good here, in my opinion, is Defensive Training. This is an absolutely absurd 42% damage reduction on troll units for the first 3 rounds of combat. The first 3 rounds of combat are when things like Convener go off, Inspiration, and, as I've talked about in many videos before, the early rounds of combat in this game are the most important. So basically what this guy is going to do, in my opinion, is he's going to provide a lot of extra damage to his Reapers, and then you're going to bring trolls along with him to protect the Reapers. Those trolls are going to protect the Reapers until they're totally dead, which could be much longer, potentially, than the normal massive presence timing of the Mountain Troll Taunt, because these guys are going to be taking 42% less damage in those early rounds of combat. If you stack that up with like a Tactical Maneuvers chest piece, potentially a Curse Helm, in those early rounds of combat, your enemies are pretty much going to be doing no damage at all to your trolls. As far as his other skills go, he has Command, which makes trolls deal more damage. This seems pretty useless on anything except for Mordor, because trolls aren't there to deal damage anyway. They're there to die so that your other units don't die, at least the tier 3 trolls, and Ravagers, as far as a tier 4 unit go, are kind of iffy anyway, in my opinion. And then his super weird skill, I mentioned that this guy does have some wonky skills. This is our 3 tree Granz command. So the way this works is very weird, and I don't fully understand it, but I'm going to try to explain it anyway. Whoever has the highest defense in your army gets to control Grand, and you hit one enemy target and inflict them with a reduced defense, stacking up to 3 times until the end of battle, and then somehow this makes that unit do extra siege damage, I guess. There have been some reports on this part potentially not working. Attached to that, you have Granza Salt, which actually seems decent, particularly if you can stack a lot of defense. So this increases damage dealt. The reason that this is kind of an awkward skill is we need to figure out how the scaling actually works, because most 7-point damage skills are going to gain you 21% damage. This is only a base of 14% damage. However, if the defense scaling is good enough, that could scale significantly higher than 21%. We'll just have to see. And then Hammer Transport is like super weird. You take less damage, but your speed is basically 0. Not really a big fan of the skill, because this is going to mean that your units are just guaranteed to always go second in combat. So this almost seems like an anti-initiative skill for taking less damage, but it's not like you're taking an absurd amount less damage like you are with defensive training. It's only 2.5% per point. So I think, my opinion, his best build is going to be full top R0 tree to buff up your orc units. Then you're going to put 14 or 15 points in Axe Overlord, max out Caning so that you get follow-up on your Reapers, and then put the rest of your points into Troll Master and Defensive Training. Stack up any kind of Orc attack buffs that you can, stack up early round damage mitigation and just other general melee buffs, and run this guy with something like Crusher, Troll Reaper, and then just whatever other orc unit you want to throw in there. It could be raiders if you're having trouble with cavalry, I guess, but I really think the Prime Army combo is going to be Crusher, Troll, Reaper on this guy. So we'll see. Time will tell what this guy's best build is. That's my prediction, and hopefully this video has helped you get a little bit better understanding of how I think this guy is going to work. Let me know what you think in the comments, and thank you for watching.